Hey, Steve Mignani here at High Octane Classics in Auburn, Massachusetts with a 1972 Chevelle. It presents as a super sport. We don't know if it is or not, but it's a fun car. Now here's the thing, 1972 was the final year for the second generation Chevelle before the Colonnade style, the larger, flatter one arrived in 73 to kind of change everything. Catalytic converters arrived in 75 and the end of the muscle era, 1972. And here's a good example. It has all the right Chevelle super sport stuff. It was a $365 option on top of any V8 Malibu. Has the blacked out grille, correct SS emblems, the domed hood, which was still part of the picture in the world of the Super Sport, not seen on the standard cars. Now, the cowl induction lettering has been added. This is not an actual cowl induction functional hood, but again, it's a fun car and it's priced accordingly. Under the hood is a small block, and yes, in 1971, the SS could be had with a 350, and so too in 72, and that's what we have here. Now this is the H code, and we'll get to that in a second. It's a 350, was a two-barrel, but there's now an Edelbrock aluminum dual-plane intake. This is the Performer EPS, and there's an Edelbrock four-barrel carburetor in place there with an electric choke. Cast iron exhaust manifolds with nicely done gray paint to make them presentable. Air conditioning, C60A, C, the cross-flow radiator. It's a presentable driver. I don't know about you, but the braided hose is a little over the top, but that's okay. You don't have to keep it. It's a cosmetic item. You can take it off if you chose to. That's all good. Very popular in the 80s. I remember braided hose was a big deal. AN fittings and stuff. So be it. Now this is a power disc brake car. Here we have them up front, drums in the back. And these are 15 by 7 Corvette rally type wheels with 1967 center caps, but again, it's all part of the close enough, fun daily driver kind of vibe to this car. Now, when I mentioned H code, I'm going to open the door, we'll look through the windshield, and for the first time in 1972, Chevrolet actually in the 5th spot put a designator for the VIN, for the engine. When you see H, you're looking at the 352 barrel. J would be a 354 barrel, and so forth on up. So this is the base 352 barrel, which was the smallest engine you could get in a Super Sport. Nice to see the bucket seat interior. I'm not sure if that's standard or original. Doesn't really matter at this point in time. This car is more about fun than collecting trophies. It has a custom center console, but nicely upholstered interior. And the paint code does show that it was cream yellow, perhaps a little less vivid than this shade of yellow that's on it now, but a nice driver quality car. You could either take this and bring it around to pro touring standards with an aftermarket chassis, four-wheel big disc brakes, all that kind of stuff, or just drive it like it is. Now the rear wheels on this are also 15-inch Corvette rallies, but these are 8s, a little bit wider. I like that. Wide and wider is always a nice look on a street machine, which is what this is. And at the back, as with all 71 and 72, Chevelle's 4 round taillights at the back versus the rectangular ones for 1970. The rubber SS emblem in place. And being a 350 car, the rear axle is a 10 bolt, not the 12 bolt you'd find in a 402 or a 454, but that's okay. This 350 is not going to hurt it. It'll be just fine. Let's look inside and see what we have. Okay, yeah, basic driver quality stuff. The trunk floor is painted black, probably done a long time ago. But I don't see any signs of real corrosion, no holes, nothing structural. Yeah, it's not a bad little car. And again, everything starts somewhere. And again, I like to say you either own your car or your car owns you. And this is the kind of a Chevelle that you could own and enjoy. And if you chose to, put an LS in it or an overdrive tranny or suspension or whatever you wanted, or again, just drive it like it is. So this car, like all cars at High Octane Classics, can be financed with as little as 10% down. High Octane Classics will also deliver these cars to your office, your home, your driveway, and they do certainly consider all trades, daily drivers, classics, motorcycles, pretty much anything is considerable. So if you want to learn more about this 1972 H code, 352 barrel, now 4 barrel, kind of a hot rod, Chevelle, check it out on the High Octane Classics website.